Hey everybody, skisoutheast.com. This is Brad Panovich here with the latest. I just got back from Tahoe. Really light snow out there. There was better conditions here in the east. I wish I was skiing this past week. When I return to heat and humidity. Boy, is it warm here in the southeast. But if you're wondering why they were making so much snow last week and this past weekend, before the warmth moved in, this is why, because we're trying to get ahead of this warm spell. This is all rain across the eastern half of the country. You can see this is a very warm setup currently over the eastern half of the country. Let's focus in on the southeast. Oh, that is ugly. That's the good old-fashioned blowtorch, and it is absolutely torching us right now. But there is some good news. Some rain is on the way, unfortunately, this weekend. We kind of saw that coming, but there is some colder weather for the beginning of next week. Let's get into that and your future cast. All right, let's get right into our future cast here. You can see this system is all rain. So this is going into tomorrow, 1 o'clock in the afternoon, going into your weekend. If you're skiing this weekend, make sure you have the Gore-Tex gear. It is going to be soggy. That is all rain Saturday into early Sunday. But Sunday, late in the day, oh, we lost the graphics here. Hope it'll load again. But late in the day on Sunday, I do expect to see some northwest flow develop on the back side of this system. So I do anticipate we're going to see just a little bit of snow on the back side of this going into Sunday night. So basically going into Sunday night, we'll see the back side of this thing right there going into Monday. There's the snow. This is Sunday night, by the way, around 7 p.m. We'll go to 8 p.m. So a brief shot of northwest flow snow on the back side of this system. So there is a little sign that we're at least going to see a little bit of snow going into the weekend, at least the tail end of the weekend into Monday. But Saturday into early Sunday, it's looking like all rain right now. Let's quickly look at how much snow. This is the blend of model guidance you could see going into Monday. Again, some areas, maybe 3-4 inches of snow up here in West Virginia, down to Winter Place, and in North Carolina, I'd say 1 to 2, but a few areas, especially in the higher elevations, Beach Sugar, down towards the Smokies, probably could get more. We go into next week. I'll go through the middle of the week. There's another system that's going to be early next week, an upper level system that's going to move through that I'm watching carefully that might bring something kind of interesting to our area. I'm going to go to our European model here real quickly and kind of show you. So we'll go through the weekend. You can see the low pressure. That's a warm low pressure system over us. But I want you to see what happens as we go into Monday, Tuesday. Little system's going to develop in the middle of next week, and right about here, Wednesday, middle of next week, there's some hints that maybe here in the southeast we might get a little action going on. Now, when you look at this pattern long term, you see a big ridge in the middle of the country, but there is troughing on the east coast and the west coast. This is a kind of an interesting pattern because what can happen in this situation, if there's enough cold air in the northeast, we can get the southern branch of the jet stream to be pretty active here, and our cold air comes from this direction. Might be really warm to our west and northwest, but the cold air comes in here as low pressure. This actually could be a pretty good setup for winter weather as we go into the, I'd say the first full weekend of February, maybe the middle of the month. There are some signs there that this warm pattern we're seeing right now could flip again. Maybe not as cold as what we just had, but certainly something that bears watching for the middle of the month. If I'm looking for some wintry weather possibilities, I think mid-February is starting to trend in that direction. Of course, we've got a ways to go till we get there, and I think that's when we'll start to see the pattern change once we get past this warm spell this weekend. So just a real recap, looking at the long range 6 to 10 day outlook, you could see, yeah, a little bit above average, but trending towards cooler. And then we go 8 to 14 days out, still trending a little warmer right now. Not sold completely on that, but precipitation is interesting. Kind of dry in the short term, but long term, we're kind of in between. So there's some split decisions here about what's going to happen with this setup as we go into the middle of the month. But the ensemble guidance starting to hint at maybe an active storm track and possibly some cold air. So I know right now it doesn't feel like winter. We came out of the greatest week in like 6 years, and then 70s invaded the southeast, 60s even in the mountains. But now we keep our eye on the pattern flipping again. I'll tell you right now, it is cold in Alaska. If we start to see it warming up in Alaska, that's a sign. Right there, you see the ridging over Alaska? That usually means colder air for the East Coast. Stay tuned, everybody. Have a great weekend. I know it's raining and warm, but don't worry. That's why all that snowmaking was going on last weekend. As always, think snow, everybody.